Hey folks, your OS Reviews. You're watching our video first look and a quick review of two USB-based DVD drives, which can be useful if you have a tablet or a smartphone or even an ultra portable that lacks a typical DVD drive/burner. It allows you to play back movies if you still use DVDs as opposed to streaming services, and it also allows you to burn your own content onto a CD or a DVD. Now we have two versions in front of you. The one on the right by ASUS sells on Amazon for about $40, whereas the one on the left by VIC TSING Vixing sells for about $20, so it's about half the price. But in terms of functionality, both are about the same. ASUS has a slightly more edgy and attractive design going on, whereas the one on the left is a bit more generic looking. Otherwise, in terms of specifications, the ASUS version, the 8X, is capable of DVD plus/minus RW drive. In terms of specifications, we have a current page open from the manufacturer. You can see that this is what this particular drive is capable of in terms of the speed as well as the capacity and the format. So it can support DVDs, VCDs as well, and audio CDs too. So this is something that should support most disc formats that you would want to throw at it. And again, it uses a USB 2.0, so it's not quite as fast as USB 3.0, up to 5 gigabits per second, but it is going to be a plug-and-play solution which will work with most computers, Mac or PCs without a pre-existing driver that you need to install. It also comes with a handy stand which you can use to tilt up the entire unit at a more elegant angle if your desk is light on space. And of course, it's going to be the most perfect companion for EEPCs, netbooks, but of course, it's going to work with any Windows or Mac computer. It's fairly slim and fairly small as well as far as carrying it around. So taking a closer look at the design of the unit first, you can see that we have a prism-like shape going on with the overall pattern on the front. It does remind me of the HTC Touch Pro, which came out a few years back. There's the ASUS logo on the top. It is made entirely out of plastic, which means it does attract a fair amount of fingerprints and smudges, but again, definitely an elegant look. As you can see here on the side, it is a very slim DVD player. The front here features a button which allows you to open and close the door. It also features a few LED lights when the disc is being read, and there's a few other printed on labels as far as the compatibility for this unit you can see on the side here. The other side is completely plain, but the back features a mini USB port for connecting it to a computer. This is a standard. We like how ASUS used this port. And the back features 4 rubber feet to prevent the unit from sliding around on a surface or a desk, as well as a few more information about the unit. You can see this one, for instance, was manufactured roughly 2 years ago. Also comes with this mini USB cable included. We'll take a closer look at the design with the performance of the ASUS unit in a second. First, moving on to the more generic build over here. Slightly different, but in terms of what you get in the box, you have access to a slightly different adapter for actually plugging this into a computer. But again, it's still a plug-and-play DVD drive, so it doesn't require any drivers to be operated. Both of these cables aren't the longest in the world, so these are aimed and geared at mobility. Since these drives are quite slim and small, really meant if you have a tablet or an ultra portable that doesn't have that drive and you still want that feature in terms of reading software or watching videos for entertainment or playing back games for installation, even though we're gradually moving to cloud-based services for streaming and so on and so forth. But again, this one uses a slightly different standard. It's still a standard cable, but not as commonplace as mini USB, still USB 2.0 speeds. There is a quick start guide, user manual documenting the various contents you get in the box, how to operate it, and this is what it looks like. You still have rubber feet on the bottom, which prevents the unit from sliding around. Some basic info about the unit as well. This one is also still made out of plastic, but it has a more coarse plastic material, which doesn't attract as much fingerprints. But as you can see here, definitely a lot more generic and plain Jane from a design perspective. The back features access just to that USB port, and there's an optional power cable as well you can plug in to make the unit run. It doesn't require that on all computers that you plug it into. For instance, some desktops will just draw power directly from the USB port, but if you have it on a, let's say, smartphone or a tablet, you may require the use of this extra power supply just to boost it and have the ability for the disk to be read. The front features, again, the same labels, it seems like, and also a key which allows you to open and close the door, and there's also that LED light to indicate when a disk is being read. It feels pretty solid. It doesn't really rattle around when you hold it, and it seems like something that will last you for a fair amount of time when you use it. On the other hand, the Asus version, it feels a little bit more fragile just because it seems to rattle a little bit more despite the cleaner and more elegant presentation. So this is what the two look like, again, side by side, and also in terms of dimensions if we stack them to give you a quick idea. So next we're going to connect both into a computer and show you guys how they operate when we insert a DVD, a disc, and show you guys that process. Taking a look at the Asus version of the DVD drive first, you can see it's a plug-and-play experience. You can just insert it onto any Mac or PC, and it's essentially going to work right away. Of course, that's with some limitations. For instance, if you have a Windows 10 computer or some Windows 8.1 computers, does not come with a native DVD or CD player on board, so you can't expect to just pop in a disc and the computer will automatically open up the video and start playing it. Obviously, there's a lot of alternatives to this, such as downloading a free program like VLC, which is awesome and supports a wide range of video codecs to support that, and you can play back your movies as well as burn your movies to your heart's content. So that is something to point out. So official support isn't going to be there just because newer Windows computers tend to omit an optical drive. Otherwise, it's very easy to just then open up the optical slot and then pop in your disc. It's going to work with CDs in addition to physical DVDs. So for instance, if we have a CD that we want to pop in, it's just going to load up and start running. Since it's connected to the computer's USB port, it does drain power using the computer, so that's something to quickly point out. Not a huge deal, but if you have an ultra portable or a tablet with a shorter battery life, that's something to consider. Taking a quick look at, let's say, a DVD, so this is a standard movie that maybe I want to play. I can just pop this in there and then close it up. There's an LED light on the front which will start to flash to indicate that it's currently reading the disc, and if I maybe want to read a content on a disc, I can also use File Manager or a program on my computer to check it out and also burn content that way. One of the limitations I found with the Asus as far as performance is concerned isn't with the speed or with the recognition of discs, even though it was a little picky with VCDs or video CDs. It was actually with the fact that if you plan on using this to install an operating system, sometimes it's not going to work flawlessly. This is because it doesn't, again, have an external power source other than the USB lead. So on some tablets, if you want to wipe the operating system and install, let's say, an older version of Windows, when you first boot it up, it's not going to recognize this as a bootable DVD drive, which can be an issue just because it doesn't have an external power source other than the one connected to the computer. So that's one of the limitations, but otherwise, if you're using it just for entertainment purposes, watching back videos, copying your own discs, and creating your own discs, then this is flawless. It doesn't have any issues as far as compatibility and performance. So if we kind of unplug this, moving on to the second more generic model produced by VIC-TSING, again, you can actually just plug it in directly over USB and it will work, but again, there's an optional power lead, which includes a separate cable in the box to plug it into the wall, which is great because, again, if you're using this as a bootable DVD optical drive and you want to install a new operating system, directly from the BIOS, the computer will recognize this and allow you to select it when you're installing a new OS. So that's one of the benefits of this. So in actual performance, it does have a leg up. Otherwise, as far as entertainment, as well as playing back and recognizing discs, it had almost identical performance in terms of speed as well as recognition to the Asus model. So no issues there. It was also very fast to load. The same LED on the front that tells you the status of the disc being read. The same ability for you to download software on your computer and then read it as well as write it and also burn your own disc. So no issues there. And you have the ability to choose whether or not you want to use that extra power cable during the boot up sequence or if you're just plugging it in to view back videos directly. So anyways, guys, this has been a quick video first look and review of two relatively popular and low-cost DVD optical drives that can be plugged into a computer using a USB port. And both of these are fairly good options if you're looking for something portable, small, and easy to take with you, but your current ultra portable or tablet doesn't have that optical drive feature. Thanks for watching this video here at OS Reviews.